Hi everyone, my name's Dimitri and welcome back to DimitriTube. Fboy Island Episode 2 review. Let's go. As always, if you're enjoying my reviews, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. I will waste no time, let's just dive into the review. So the episode starts off with Garrett, Pete, and Andrew hanging out in the nice guy grotto. So after the guys get eliminated, the nice guys go to the nice guy grotto and the F-boys go to Limbro, which I guess is supposed to be like a punishment for being an F-boy. So HBO is making Limbro seem like this horrible place that they're forcing the F-boys to stay in all day and all night, but I highly doubt production is forcing them to stay there. I think it's more for production value. So I really don't understand why HBO is keeping the guys who are eliminated in the Cayman Islands. Maybe they have something planned for them later in the show. But at the same time, if I was one of the guys who was eliminated and you get to stay in a tropical paradise, that's really not a bad deal. So after that, they dive into the episode and it starts with a 3-way water balloon dodgeball. So for the game, there are 3 teams and they all play in a triangle all at the same time. And from each team, each girl gets to choose an MVP that they get to spend more time with. So there are no rules, there's no referee, and this whole thing turns into a total free-for-all. But it looks like fun, I would love to play. And let me just say, there are some gorgeous black men on this show. So for the MVPs, Sarah picks Jared, CJ picks Chaun, and Nakia picks Greg. Now, I thought the guys won actual dates, but all they get is extra time with the women during the night portion of the day. So later that night, the guys get an opportunity to talk to the girls more, and Jared is wearing a long sleeve with a huge scarf. Why is he wearing this? Aren't they in tropical paradise? Also, the women are in far more revealing clothing, and they don't seem cold at all. So the first one-on-one we see is with Nakia and Greg. Greg says he's a romantic and Nakia asks him why he's still single. So first of all, I hate that question, but Greg responds and says that he's picky, which I thought was a really good answer. Greg also mentions that he used to be a club promoter, which made Nakia really feel like he's one of the F-boys. Now at this point, I'm not sure if Greg is an F-boy or if he's a nice guy, but from what I saw, it does not look like him and Nakia have much of a connection. This very much felt more like an interview than a date. Next, we have a one-on-one with Sarah and Jared. During their one-on-one, they talk a little bit about the love languages, which that's based on a book. I haven't read it, but I've heard of it multiple times. I need to read it. But other than that, they really don't talk much and they have like zero connection. And then we have a one-on-one with CJ and Chaun with a CH. Chaun says that he was a Chippendales dancer for 10 years, so he's probably for the streets.
She belongs to the streets.
Also, he is not the only exotic dancer from this season. Cameron is also an exotic dancer. But I do want to know what you all think. If you were looking for love, would you be open to loving an exotic dancer or a former exotic dancer? Let me know below in the comments. Cameron also says that he started dancing when he was 19 and he was previously married for 2.5 years. Now, from what I saw, it looked like Chaun and CJ did have a connection, but we'll just have to wait and see if they explore this more. So after that, they show a large group of the guys talking, and Davidge tells the guys that CJ is high maintenance. He also says he cannot be intellectual with her. Now, I thought what Davidge said was fine. It honestly just sounded like a guy talking to other guys about how he felt about his date. The only problem is these guys are competitors, so him saying this was just not a smart move. So then after that, CJ has some one-on-one time with Mark. Mark is very corny, but he's charming. And then after that, CJ talks to Casey, and Casey invites CJ to his room to see his bunk bed. Now, there is a clear connection between CJ and Casey. They kiss, and CJ even wipes the lipstick off of Casey. Now, the only problem I have with this is there are 21 guys, and there's a camera crew following around the women the majority of the time. So it was really hard for me to believe that nobody saw them go to Casey's room together. Okay, so the next day, the girls are chatting in the villa about the guys they're interested in, and Sarah says she had a great conversation with Josh, and Nakia says she had a great conversation with Jared. Now, I'm confused because how come we didn't get to see that? The conversations we saw, to me, weren't that great. I would have rather have seen one of these good conversations that the girls claimed they had. So now we're going into the exclusive dates. I guess that's what HBO is going to call them, but they definitely did not call them that on the first episode. So for the first exclusive date, CJ and Mark drive to the beach and they hang out near the rocks. So not really much happens on this date, but after the date, CJ says that Mark talks too much and cracks too many jokes, and she sees him more as a friend. The next exclusive date is between Sarah and Josh. Josh is so hot, and I love his deep voice. For their date, they just have drinks on the beach, and it's a really cute setup that HBO did. They talked about previous dating and relationships, and honestly, this is the first date that I've seen on the show where the two people genuinely seem like they're trying to get to know one another. Also, so far on a lot of the dates, the girls just keep asking the guys whether or not they're nice guys or F-boys, and I'm pretty sure production already told them they cannot say whether or not they are in front of the women, so I don't know why they keep asking. And the girls seem to just be trying to figure out if the guys are F-boys, whereas I feel like they should just spend the time just trying to get to know the guys. I feel like if they did that, they'd probably have an easier time finding out whether or not they're F-boys. Next, we have a date with Jared and Nakia. I think they look so cute together. For their date, they get to go jet skiing, which I thought was really awesome. I would love to do that, but not really much happens on the date. Jared opens up to Nakia about being adopted, and Nakia relates to him because she says her father left her family at a young age. So after that, the guys get in a group and then talk about the dates that they have. This part was very forced to me. HBO clearly got the guys together because they're trying to start some drama and see if the guys can get jealous over one another. And Chris tattletales on the guys in the house to CJ. Okay, so now we're moving on to elimination, and up until this point, I really didn't like CJ this much, but now I'm starting to like CJ a little bit because this girl is playing the game. CJ decides to put Chris up for elimination so the other guys in the house don't catch on to him being a tattletale. Now, in the long run of the season, I do not think this is a good strategy, but I will admit this is making great television. Also, I really don't understand what Chris gets out of this. If he makes it to the end of the show, CJ's not gonna pick him because in her head, he's just the snitch who helped her get through the show. So other than staying on the show longer, I really don't understand what Chris gets out of this. So up for elimination is David, Chris, Tariq, Israel, Anthony, and Charlie. Now, it's clear CJ is going to get rid of David because he talked mess about her in the house. But for the other guys, the girls really have no reasoning behind why they're eliminating them other than the fact that they're not putting in enough effort to get to know them. And this really made me think because I'm wondering if the genders were switched, would this show work? What do y'all think? Let me know below in the comments. So David, Israel, and Charlie all end up getting eliminated. I was kind of bummed that Charlie got eliminated because he is gorgeous and he has a beautiful French accent. I really wish we got to know him a little more than we did. And we also find out that they are all F-boys. But during elimination, Charlie says he's a nice guy and production claps back and says he's a F-boy and he was signed up as an F-boy. Production builds up this part and tries to create a moment of Charlie lying, but it's kind of dumb because we don't know anything about Charlie, so we barely care. And regardless of if he's a nice guy or an F-boy, he still got eliminated, so it doesn't even matter. While Charlie is waiting to go to Limbro, he talks to the confessional cam and says that he's no longer an F-boy, he's a nice guy, and that he had only turned into an F-boy because he was dealing with the passing of his mother, and he was trying to find a way to fix his pain. Honestly, at this point for me, it was just too little too late. He probably should have told that story to one of the women while he was in the house, not after elimination. And after that, Charlie ended up not going to the grotto or Limbro. So I think Charlie probably just had an issue with production and actually ended up going home and leaving the Cayman Islands. And that is the end of the episode. Sorry if this review was kind of short. Not really much happened on the episode. But if you enjoyed this review, please go ahead and pound that like button, pound that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell. And I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Bye.